Hi everybody. In this video I want to explain to you what I think is the world's greatest mystery. Now this is my opinion, and you might disagree with my definitions, my logic, my conclusions, but I'd ask you to bear with me during this video and accept my definitions, follow my logic, and then at the end, if you don't agree with my conclusions, then comment, let me know. First, let me start with some definitions. What do I mean by a mystery? What I mean is a simple question that has no known answer. That's pretty easy. Now, what do I mean by greatest? How would I characterize the greatest mystery? Well, we'll take a cue from John Stuart Mill and then correct it a little bit. To me, I want to consider the greatest to be the mystery that has a great effect on the greatest number. I might have said the greatest effect on the greatest number, but the greatest effect and the greatest number might be mutually exclusive. Then what do you do? Mill didn't deal with that, I don't think. But of the two, I think the greatest number is most important, and so a great effect, the greatest of those among the greatest number, would be the one I want. That gets a little picky. What I don't mean by the greatest mystery is the most profound mystery. So unanswered questions about God or the universe or profound issues I don't want to consider because they don't affect many people much of the time. Most people lead their daily lives without ever worrying about or having those questions affect them. Maybe from Sunday to Sunday, people don't even think about God. Some of them don't think about God at all. So we're not talking most profound. We're talking about the greatest effect on people's lives. The kind of question I'm looking for is, suppose, for example, we didn't know why we need to eat. Now we do know the answer to the question, but suppose we didn't. Then it would be a great mystery, affecting a lot of people every day, as to why are we compelled to stuff certain organic materials into a hole in our body every day. That would be a great mystery. But we know why. We have to eat because we need to supply materials for energy, that is fuel for energy, and materials for repairing and building our bodies. So my mystery is like that. Here's my candidate for the world's greatest mystery. Why do we need to sleep? That is, why are we compelled to spend roughly a third of our lives unconscious? So let's test that against my definition. Is it a simple question? Yes, two-year-olds can ask, why do we need to sleep? Or why do I have to go to bed? In fact, they do ask that. So it's a simple question, and it has no known answer. Now there are a few guesses, there are quite a few guesses about why we need to sleep, but if you let a scientist or anybody else explain to you why we need to sleep, just sit back and listen to what they're saying, and it's just hand-waving. They're talking about how we need to reorganize certain aspects of our information structure in our memories or whatever. But if you think about their answer, it's usually just hand-waving. In fact, all known physiological processes, everything we do, everything that happens to our bodies, works better when we're awake than sleeping. Like walking and running and eating and fighting and fleeing and all of the things that organisms need to do to live work a lot better when we're awake. Respiration, circulation, metabolism, It all works better. So the question of why we need to sleep is indeed a mystery. Now, is it the greatest? Well, does it have a great effect on us in our daily lives? Of course it does. It takes up a third of our time that we could be doing other things. We characterize our houses. When we talk about our house, the very first thing you list is how many bedrooms. And if you took a look at the square footage occupied by bedrooms in your house, it's a substantial percentage. So here we have a big effect on our lives every day. And is it an effect on the greatest number? Yes, the number can't be any greater because it affects every individual. Not only humans, every animal has to sleep. Nobody knows why. So to me, it is the greatest mystery there is. And as a final thought, let me leave you with this. The need for sleep should be a counterexample to those biologists who think that natural selection explains all aspects of biology. That is, there are quite a few, not just biologists, but people who think that all of biology can be explained by the process of natural selection, and yet sleep flies in the face of that. If you think about what happens to an animal when it sleeps, it loses almost all of its ability to protect itself or to provide for itself for its own survival. It loses its consciousness. It's not able to detect enemies. It's just more helpless when it's sleeping than when awake. So you would think that any animal that needed to sleep would be selected against very quickly and gone extinct. And animals that were able to function both day and night, like cats, can operate day and night, and yet they sleep probably more than any other animal. It just doesn't make any sense. So in the natural process of natural selection, animals that didn't need to sleep would have the ability to prey on all the ones who did have to sleep and have an advantage, and they should thrive and survive. The ones that needed to sleep should disappear. Yet we find in nature all animals need to sleep for no known reason. So I'll leave you that. Please leave me some comments. Thank you.